Hi, I'm John and welcome to the Jigsaw Puzzler. Today's puzzle is a Ravensburger puzzle, 1,000 pieces, called the Coo-au, Coo-au. I think a reference to a luau, but a Coo-au because it is a picture depicting birds, lots and lots of brightly coloured birds. I purchased this puzzle secondhand from an op shop. There is one piece missing from the puzzle. This puzzle is excellent. It is one of the most satisfying puzzles I think that I have ever done. I've featured a number of Ravensburger puzzles on this channel so far, and two of those would be equal to this one, or perhaps slightly better than this one in terms of just the sheer satisfaction of completing a puzzle. It has enough challenge, but not too difficult. It's got loads of colours, textures, and different elements to the puzzle to keep you interested. I have previously done an episode about a Ravensburger puzzle, Alice in Wonderland, and also one on the Four Seasons with 4 Japanese style panels. And both of those, plus this one, I would say are probably the 3 most satisfying puzzles that I have ever done. And I've done a lot of puzzles. I love all different kinds of puzzles, some obviously more than others, but these 3 stand right at the peak in terms of personal satisfaction. I know that's a really subjective thing to say. It doesn't, just because I like it a lot doesn't mean that somebody else is going to like it a lot, but this one I've highly recommended. Of course, the quality of a Ravensburger puzzle is excellent. Thick pieces, sturdy, holds together beautifully. This one would survive the pickup test very easily. The pieces hold together nicely. It's a semi-gloss or a slightly matte finish, so not too bad with the lights. It is ribbon cut with a variety of different shapes. Excuse me, a variety of different shapes across the whole puzzle. All right, so how did I tackle this puzzle? This puzzle, I think, is one of the ones which I tackle a little bit differently than most puzzles. I did pull out the edge first and had them all lined up here, and I put the border together. I did know there was one piece missing because I have done this previously with my puzzle partner, and we thoroughly enjoyed doing it then. The previous owner had drawn a large circle on the box in pen, and we weren't quite sure what that meant at the time, but that in fact is the approximate location, only somewhat larger, of the missing piece. So they were indicating that there was one missing. They have not written on the box anywhere that there's a piece missing. All right, so I pulled out the edge pieces first, and then if we look at the picture closely, we'll see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 birds of various different kinds. I don't know all of these birds. I know that this one is a macaw, and I think that one is also a macaw. I know this one is a toucan, but that's probably where my actual knowledge of the birds ends. I would have liked on the box, maybe it did come with it, I don't know, a little panel which said what each of the birds were, but however, it doesn't, so we just have to enjoy them for what they are. But they're all brightly coloured birds, mostly parrot style birds, but not exclusively. So 16 birds, was it? 15 birds, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 butterflies. On some tree branches overlooking a beach and a little bit of an inlet. There are some islands and rocky outcrops out in the water, and then of course the sky with a variety of clouds in it. This is a painted image. The artist's name is Joel McIntyre. The puzzle dates from 2018, so not all that old, and it is a really beautiful, beautiful image. There are banks of flowers and leaves on the puzzle as well. They really help us, or helped me, to piece this together. So, edge first, put that out. Then it's difficult to know where to look. There is so much bright colour and so many things going on here, so many birds, all different combinations of colours. And each bird is, like this bird here, this parrot here, red, blue, golden yellow. This one here, golden yellow and blue. This one, golden yellow, blue, and a little bit of green. This one here, sort of purplish tones in red. This one's almost exclusively red. This one's black with the bright yellow beak. This one's almost entirely green, but a couple of patches of red. Down here we have a white one, fading into some grey colours with a blush of pink on the top. All different colours to look at. So I decided that I would start not with the birds, but that I would start with the pink of the flowers. This bank of flowers here is unique to this corner of the puzzle. Similarly, these ones here, the up close here, they look like orchids of some kind, are also unique to that section of the puzzle. And then there's two very small, slightly redder versions of the orchid, or something similar to it, down in this corner. So I thought, well, once I'd done the edge, I would pull out all the pink pieces. I'd separate the really hot pink ones, this section here, from these pale pink and purpley ones that have got a hot pink edge. And then I did this corner of the puzzle. At the same time, this bird here has got a zebra striped tail, quite a long one, leading up to its red body. So knowing that that was in amongst the pink flowers, I pulled the tail out as well as these flowers. And then I started to pull out the cockatoo, it might be a galah actually, I'm not sure. The white bird with the pink blush on its head. It is the only white bird in the puzzle, and the whites are really quite a grey white, very different from the clouds, and really the only patch of that colour on the puzzle. So I had those, and as I was sorting through, I did a full flip, and as I was sorting through, I came across the pieces of the butterflies. So I just pulled those out straight away. Each butterfly is only about 6 pieces each or less. So I pulled those out as I went, put the edge ones in because they joined on immediately. This blue one here in the middle, I just kept in the middle. So I put these flowers together, and part of this red bird, there are other patches of red. So there's the red on the chest of this bird here, and a lot of red on these parrots up here. So I went through and found what I could of this bird and pieced together the flowers, the tail, and this bird. Then I've started to find diagonal stripes of blue and red, which turned out to be the tail of this very large parrot here. I also found the blue and yellow swashes of this tail, of the macaw in the middle, and pulled those out. And then what I did is I thought, well, I think the easiest way to tackle this is kind of in reverse. Rather than concentrating on the birds, to concentrate on the background. So I put these flowers together and then started to work on the colours that were really unique and unusual and only found in limited parts of the puzzle. So this pinkish brown of the sand here in 2 little patches. The colours of the background here, almost like an ochre yellow over this side, fading to sort of greens, not quite olive green, maybe khaki green, sort of in the middle here. And to pick out those and start to piece the backgrounds together a bit. This area of the background up here is all very mottled, so they were very easy to identify, so I pulled some of those out and did that. And then I was able to hone in on particular birds and particular colours. This bird here with the red chest has a purple head, and there aren't very many, if any, other purple sections. There's a little tiny bird down here that's purple, so I could do that. The leaves in the middle here all have a bright red vein, bright green outer, sort of darker green down the centre, and then brown and bright red vein down the middle of them. They were easy to pull out of my sorting trays. So gradually, piece by piece, I built up basically the background to this puzzle. There is a horizon line. Now it's pretty, it's from here to here, it's sort of okay. There's a little bit at the other side, which is a bit interrupted by tails of birds and branches. There are these islands or rocky outcrops as well in grey. I picked those out and it's just started to build the horizon line just as a bit of a divider there. And then the watercolour, the water shade of blue, is greener than the sky blue, so that was easier to pull out once I had put the horizon line in, because I knew how big an area I was dealing with. Some of those are obviously joined on, like got an edge of a bird on them, or a leaf, or the beach, so there was something to work off to build those sections, leaving only about half a dozen pieces that were purely the blue colour. Then it was moving around and starting to collect out pieces of the larger blocks of colour. The red for this parrot in particular, the really vibrant golden yellows down here for that bird, for these three birds here, the beak of the toucan, the chest of this macaw, the chest and the underside of the wings of this macaw, down the feathers on the back of this one, and these two birds over here. Lots and lots of bright yellow, very similar shading and tones there. But again, once you look at the details, the feathers of this one have got some greyish brown in it, and the brush strokes are quite directional for the feathers being spread out. This one here has got blotches of blue as the feathers overlap each other, whereas this one here is a much more solid, grading from yellow to orange. Once you look at a piece, you can start to distinguish which of the birds it belongs to. The blue sections, to be honest, of the birds takes a little bit of a time to figure out which bird it belongs to. Obviously, this one's got the biggest section, so the likelihood that a blue feathered section belongs to that bird is pretty high. This here, though, is the same shades of blue as that one. There's a little bit of blue here on this wing at the back, but it's a bit lighter. So just with the colour matching, that wasn't too hard to pull out there. Then I followed branches. I picked out bits with, by this stage, if I'd had the birds pretty much done, the branches, there wasn't a lot left because a lot of the birds are in contact with the branches. They join on, they're standing on them, they overlap, the branches go in front of them or behind them. They overlap in some way with the background. So there were just sections of branches to finish piecing together. And then, honestly, there were just a few little holes here and there, and it wasn't hard to pick out the bits that went into those vacant holes, leaving the sky till the end. But even the sky in this one, I mean, some Ravensburger puzzles have these big banks of sky, yes, with clouds that maybe graduate from really white to the dark blue and all of this kind of thing. They can be terribly, terribly challenging, but this sky is designed not to be overly challenging. There's some really white clouds. There's some really pale sections, pale blue. So there's some darker blue sections. Really not, once you've got the birds in place and the horizon, the rock and the edge, there really isn't a lot left for the solid sky. We know that this is the darkest or the whitest cloud, so anything that was a vivid white was probably going to end up there. And honestly, given the variety of piece shapes in this one, plenty of piece shapes, different size tabs and things like that, it came together much more easily than a whole bank of sky. I've done some sky sections on puzzles where they're all just basically the same version of the basic puzzle piece, horizontal, vertical, all the way, and you can be driven mad trying to piece those together sometimes. But this one, huge variety of piece shapes, variations in the pieces, quite a variety in the shades of blue, not really hugely difficult. It is the most challenging part, but not hugely difficult overall compared to many others that I've done. I did this over the course of a few hours yesterday and still thoroughly enjoyed doing it. This is the second time, as I said, that I'd done it before, and coming at it the second time, it was actually much more pleasurable than the first time because I had some feel for it already. I knew the missing piece was there anyway, but I just had a feel for how it went together, and yeah, it was just so enjoyable. So if you can get hold of this puzzle, a lot of people I think would really like this one. All right, so we're going to have a time lapse. If you'd like to click like and subscribe and share my channel, maybe on some of those Facebook jigsaw puzzle groups, just to share what you've been discovering, that'd be great. Leave a comment below if you'd like to about this particular puzzle, or perhaps what your most satisfying puzzle is to do that is just genuinely a pleasure to complete without necessarily being super challenging. Then please feel free to leave your comment below. On with the time lapse, and thanks for watching. you.